When I was a teenager in high school, they had a program where, in Broward County, where you either rode with EMS, fire. They tried to get young adults who are graduating from high school to be interested in the professions of law enforcement, nursing, EMS. And what I did was, for the city that I resided in, I went and volunteered as a police explorer, and I quickly enjoyed that aspect of what law enforcement officers do for people. I started with the sheriff's office in 1993 as a dispatcher. I had just turned 19 years old. At the time I was going to college here in Naples, and from there I went to the corrections division, where I quickly transitioned over to the drill academy, the juvenile youthful offender program. I spent some time out there, and then I transitioned again to road patrol in North Naples. I did approximately 4 years there, and then I quickly realized that during my duties of road patrol in North Naples, I realized that I enjoyed traffic enforcement, so I transitioned to the available position to traffic enforcement. I've been in law enforcement, in the field of law enforcement, for 14 years. I've been in STEB for approximately 6 years. It was just a natural progression. When I was working road patrol in North Naples, I realized that on my downtime I was doing a lot of traffic enforcement, a lot of speed enforcement. So it seemed to be a natural transition for me to, once I was very comfortable in what I did as road patrol officer, I moved to a traffic enforcement officer, because that's what I had passion for. You know, I'm a big advocate for speed enforcement, and one of the things that just bogs my mind is how somebody on I-75 can travel over 100 miles an hour. I guess it's because I've been through so many advanced traffic schools that I realize the impact of a vehicle traveling that far and the survivability of a crash is not very good at all. I've seen crashes that people crash at 70, 80 miles an hour, and the car is just, you know, annihilated. I think at the moment people don't understand the reality of their actions and the penalties or the consequences to their actions, you know, potentially being death. I remember working a crash on the interstate where tore my stomach up when I arrived on scene. I saw a car seat outside of a car that had flipped over. Thankfully, the one car seat that was ejected out of the car did not contain a child. As I got to the car and I got inside the car, I noticed a baby, about 6, 7 months old, that was seatbelted in a car seat, and the car was upside down, and the baby was screaming because the baby had no idea what was going on. Obviously, it was obviously a testament to wearing a seatbelt, and also, you know, having a child properly restrained in a car seat. The mom, unfortunately, who was a driver, was ejected and killed because she didn't have a driver's license. Those things bother you. You know, you don't go home, you don't forget about them. You know, you remember them. I remember them to this day. It was just 3 or 4 years ago. So it upsets me that people will drive in a manner that puts themselves at harm and harm people they don't even know. The collateral damage of a fatality goes from family to family. It's a brother, a mother, a sister that they'll never ever see again. It's a wonderful profession that's ever changing. My best advice would be that when you graduate from high school, that you immediately go into college and attain at least a 4-year degree. The way that law enforcement is tending to move these days is college. A lot of agencies have where it's mandatory that you have at least an associate's degree to enter this profession, and I'm obviously an advocate of education. I think with higher education becomes a more ethical, better rounded police officer and law enforcement officer. So my advice would be, go to school, get a college degree. Society has reached a point where they've become very non-emotional to the death of a law enforcement officer, and it saddens me greatly. Not one man or woman that works for the sheriff's office or any law enforcement entity takes this job to get killed. It's an oath that we take, and it's a sacrifice that we're willing to make. But I think that we don't have a greater appreciation from the general public when a law enforcement officer dies. they should be revered as a hero. And I don't see that, and it saddens me.